Okay, welcome to our carefully curated update of news events across the world in crypto, Web3, and mining, and anything else that may be part of a blockchain anywhere. So let's start out with this story from Dapper Labs. Dapper Labs suspends Russian accounts after new EU sanctions. The firm outlined that as its payment processing and stored value service partner, it's subject to EU regulations. So Dapper has been directed to impose the restrictions on these accounts under EU law. Following the sanctions announcement, Dapper stated that accounts with connections to Russia will no longer be able to sell, purchase, or gift NFTs, withdraw funds from their accounts, or add to their balances. Interesting news coming out on Dapper Labs. So Luke here, he's from Dapper Labs. He says, we're working quickly to understand the full implications of these sanctions on our community. And of course, we have sent communications out to all impacted Dapper wallet holders and our wider Dapper community too. Because there's been some consternation in Twitter world. So some people have said something like this: I don't care if Dapper Labs or whoever, if you're freezing accounts, you're actively censoring in an industry that was founded around censorship resistance. So not a bad point. But Luke responds here. He says, for context, last week the EU imposed new sanctions against Russia and Russian nationals, which include financial related sanctions that impact companies providing services related to crypto assets. Okay, moving on. Crypto exchange Huobi Global announces advisory board. So Huobi has announced its global advisory board composed of industry leaders across blockchain and traditional organizations. The initial list of Huobi global advisors is as follows. You got Ted Chen, you got Du Jun, he is the co-founder of Huobi, Wang Yang. You got Justin Suntran, and he's got a resume list there of things he's worked on, including Tron. You've got Leah Wald. She is a CEO at Valkyrie Funds. And so, Huobi says it's the view that their establishment of a well-diversified advisory board with a global vision and international resources is essential to the success of global expansion in light of the ever-changing dynamics of the blockchain industry. So interesting news there. Michael Van de Poppe, he says a very big move is on the horizon for Bitcoin as the volatility index drops below 25. He says historically that's a guaranteed recipe for massive volatility. The first example he cites is the crash to 3,000 in 2018. Next, he says a break above 4,000 to 14,000 in 2019. The third example, the break above $10,000 in 2020 kickstarted the bull run in 2021. So he is pretty certain that there's going to be some volatility involved in Bitcoin in the next little while. Turkey works hard to make Istanbul home to global blockchain. So Turkey is very interested in having more attention in the blockchain to their country. Turkey is one of the most active countries in crypto and blockchain, and its interest extends beyond market movements. Along with considerable base of crypto investors, the community consists of university clubs, Web3 startups, blockchain developers, and academics. And the country has hosted significant events like ETH Istanbul, Blockchain Istanbul, and Istanbul Blockchain Week, and aims to achieve more. So why DevCon 7 should be in Istanbul? Well, someone says here the way to the heart is through the stomach, and it's been long contested or long known that Istanbul is well known for their great food. So why not move more crypto interests into such a great country like that? Makes sense to me. Okay, moving on. North Korea is funding weapons programs with a vast cache of stolen crypto. So they're in the news again here. The New York Times tweeted that North Korea said that the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, had overseen the test launches of several nuclear-capable short-range ballistic missiles, including one fired from an underwater silo. It was the latest in a recent flurry of missile tests. New York Times is saying that North Korea has more interest in nuclear weapons. So North Korea says it's building underwater nuclear weapon silos. The country's leader, Kim Jong-un, has inspected a recent flurry of missile tests, vowing to increase and never give up his nuclear weapons. Okay, moving on. Will Clement tweets here about Bitcoin. It just experienced a huge difficulty adjustment, the largest in over a year. This reflects how aggressively new rigs have come online and competition heating up. Only the most efficient miners will survive these low Bitcoin prices, high energy price, and high difficulty conditions. So yes, Bitcoin moving up in difficulty adjustments, and there are some positive things that has begotten in the past. So historically, it could be a precursor for a move. Bitcoin mining difficulty surges to all-time high, putting additional squeeze on miners. So yeah, that means that the difficulty is higher. It's harder for each miner to mine that next Bitcoin, and so that's going to be tougher on them. Alex Kruger says buying Bitcoin miners through the bull market at exorbitant prices to pump equity prices was not such a great idea after all. Who could have guessed right? I mean, yeah, hindsight definitely is 2020, and a lot of these Bitcoin mining companies were buying a lot of miners through the bull run of 2021, and some of them are paying the price for it now, for sure. But only the strongest will survive. There will be some very strong companies that will likely through mergers and acquisitions that come through healthier than others. A lot of these Bitcoin miners likely will not be able to make it, but we'll see what happens. The Bitcoin mining difficulty surges to all-time high, putting additional squeeze on the miners. The difficulty rose to 13.55% from the last adjustment, which was only 2 weeks ago. That's the largest move since 2021. And again, that is going to have an impact on some of these miners, which might not operate very efficiently. Okay, moving on to another story. The OECD releases new global tax reporting framework for crypto assets. That story here, the framework's scope will include stablecoins, crypto derivatives, and certain NFTs. And moving on to Brazil. This is a really nice story to close off on. A record number of Brazilian companies bought crypto in August. And according to the South American country's tax authority, over 12,000 companies reported purchasing crypto in the month. The number of companies holding cryptocurrency in Brazil has reached new record highs as of August, amid the increased trust in cryptocurrencies and high inflation rates. So according to local media reports, the country's taxation authority, Receita Federal of Brazil, RFB, also known as the Federal Revenue of Brazil, recorded over 12,000 unique organizations declaring crypto on their balance sheets as of August. So you see, it's not just the MicroStrategies of the world that are adding crypto assets to their balance sheets. This is a growing interest across companies across the world. So wanted to leave you off of that story. Okay, thanks for joining us, everyone. Thank you for watching, and you take care.